morning and welcome. So we're going to start today sitting. So sit in a seat that is most comfortable for you. You can sit with the legs crossed if that's accessible. We'll kind of use that as our first choice. If that's not comfortable, then feel free to sit in another way. That's fine too. Also, if you want to sit up on something, if you want to grab a pillow or a book, anything to lift the level of the hips, that'll probably make this a little bit more comfortable to sit if you're not super comfortable already. And then close your eyes and soften your shoulders down away from your ears, and just notice here for a moment any discomfort, anything that you need to modify here or adjust to make yourself a little bit more comfortable. And I'd like you to put a really soft awareness into sitting up a little bit taller. But when I say soft awareness, I mean, I really don't want you to be dramatic here. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. The idea here is to be able to sit in this seat and center and begin your practice. And when we begin our practice, we are beginning to pay attention to how we feel physically, emotionally, the energy traveling within us and around us. And that's hard to do if you are starting from a place of physical discomfort. So please allow yourself to be comfortable with this soft awareness of sitting just that little bit taller, so the torso is just that little bit longer. Rest your hands wherever they rest most comfortably. Notice your breath. Notice what happens to your breath when you pay attention. Maybe allow your breath to slow down a little bit more if it still feels a bit quick, a bit shallow. See about deepening it. And then let's start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So that breath that travels at the back of the throat. We have this gentle constriction at the back of the throat. And the breath feels like it's moving through a smaller space. There's more, even more awareness of the breath here. As you breathe in, allow your belly to expand. Allow your ribcage to expand. So you're really accepting this breath in, making space. And as you breathe out, breathe it all out consciously as you create space for your next breath. Keep this breath exactly as it is, but drop your chin down towards your chest. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears here so we're not creeping the shoulders up. And then we'll start to make just little semicircles here. So bringing your chin over towards your right ear, And then back down to center and over towards your left ear. And just keep going side to side a few times, nice and slowly. Keeping the breath nice and steady and deep. And if you feel any extra tension anywhere in your neck, maybe you pause there for an extra moment where you feel that sticky spot before you move on to the other side. So these semicircles are nice and slow. And then let's start to take the chin just a little bit further. So the head kind of starts to tip back, but just the tiniest little bit. And then we'll come back to the right. So we're still in this semicircle, but we're just making the semicircle a little bit bigger. So the sides of the semicircle are just a little bit higher now. And again, any sticky spots in the neck, just pause, linger for an extra moment. And then we'll start making this into a full circle. And you don't have to tip your head back very far here. Just see how it feels. You can barely tip it back at all if that's what's most appropriate for your neck. And it doesn't matter what direction you're moving in, because we'll switch directions after a few circles. And let the circles be slow. So you are having the opportunity to feel all the feels here. So if you do encounter one of those sticky spots, you'll be aware of it and you can pause and linger. And then let's come back down to center. So chin coming back down towards your chest, and then we'll switch directions here. So making those big circles. And again, only tipping the head back as far as feels okay. Getting into all the little nooks and crannies. The muscles in the neck. The tops of the shoulders. Nice slow circles. And then the next time that your chin comes down towards your chest, just leave it there for a moment. Soften your shoulders. And then let yourself relax here. So you've been bringing this awareness into sitting tall, but now I want you to round into your back body. Relax. Let your shoulders come forward. Let your head drop down. Let your back body round a little bit there. And breathe. See how that feels. And then start to sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. So subtle. And then again, round again. Let your head come down, chin towards the chest, let your shoulders round forward. Maybe start to lean back just a little bit here. So you feel the middle of your back moving back a little bit further. And then sit up nice and tall, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chest. And then again, rounding. Maybe leaning back just a little bit more. And again, inhale. Lifting. And then exhale, rounding. Now let's come up to sit nice and tall here. If you aren't already in a cross-legged seat and you can come to a cross-legged seat for a shorter period of time, come and do that now. And we'll bring the hands onto the knees here. And we'll start to circle the rib cage around here. So your right rib cage is going to start to move out to the right, and then we're going to push the ribs forward. And then we're going to take the left ribs over to the left, and then we're going to lean back. But when you lean back, now hold onto your knees and lean back so much that your arms get straight. Your shoulders can round forward. Draw your chin into your chest, and then come over to the right again. So pushing the ribs to the right and then pushing forward. And maybe as you come forward this time, you start to lean the weight forward a little bit more into the legs, over to the left and then back. All the way back, lean back, hold on to the legs, lean back as if you're holding yourself from not falling back, and then over to the right, and then forward, and then to the left, and then back. One more time like that, come over to the right, and forward, and to the left, and back. And then come back around, come all the way back to center. We're gonna sit up nice and tall, extend your legs out in front of you, and then cross the legs the opposite way. So your opposite foot is gonna come in front this time. And again, we're gonna bring the hands to the knees, and we're gonna circle in the opposite direction. So you're gonna push your ribs over to the left, and then forward, maybe leaning some of the weight forward into the legs, and then over to the right, and then back. Lean it all the way back, hold on, and then over to the left, and forward, and to the right, and back, and keep going to the left, and forward, to the right, and back. Lean it back one more time, circling all the way around, and then coming all the way back up to sit up nice and tall. Now let's take the left hand out to your left. Walk that left hand away from you. Take your right arm and reach it all the way up and over your right ear. Now you want to take the arm over your ear rather than in front of you, okay? So sometimes we'll round, and especially if the shoulder is tight, then the arm will come forward. But we're going to take that right arm straight up and over. So we create this big, long lengthening along the right side of the body from the right fingers all the way down to the right hip. And maybe that left elbow bends a little bit as we lean a little bit more to the left. Relax your head here so there's nowhere that you need to look. Try and keep your right butt cheek down on the mat rather than lifting with you into this. We're going to try and keep that right bum grounded. Take another breath in. Come all the way back up, bring your right hand to the right, walk the right hand away from you, take your left arm all the way up and over, relax your head down, lengthen, send the left bum cheek down as the left fingertips reach away, so that left shoulder is moving back rather than forward. Maybe the right elbow bends. And then come all the way back up to center. Now, if you are uncomfortable sitting with your legs crossed, because we are going to sit with the legs crossed for a little bit longer. So if you are uncomfortable sitting with the legs crossed and you want to extend your legs out or sit on your heels, you can do that now. Just wanted you to sit cross-legs for a little bit if you hadn't been. Let's take a little twist. So take your left hand back behind you and take your right hand to your left thigh and gently turn your chest around to the left. And then come all the way around to the right. Right hand back behind you, left hand to your right thigh. And then come back to center. Take your arms out by your sides. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Grab onto opposite elbows. Bring your head so that it's touching your forearms there. So drop your shoulders down. Just ever so gently rest your head back into that part of your forearm that it's forearm that it's touching. Moving the elbows back in space. Breathe. Deep and slow. And then release. Release your arms all the way down. And then Release your legs, and we're going to come into Baddha Konasana, but we're going to take a bit more of a diamond shape here. So the heels are going to move away from your groin. Rather than the heels coming nice and close, you're going to take the heels away from your groin. And bring your hands onto your legs somewhere. So anywhere on your lower legs, so anywhere below the knee. So it might be your ankles, you might even grab your feet or your shins or your calves, anything that's gonna let you hold on to something. And then whatever you're holding on to there, gently pull yourself nice and upright so that you can feel yourself rolling all the way to the bottom of your bum onto your sitting bones. So rather than sitting on the back of your bum, moving towards your low back, we're going all the way to the bottom of the bum. Feel your chest lift up and your shoulders drop down. And then depending on how you feel, you might be getting a lot of sensation here and you might be done. This might be as far as you're going to go. You might be able to keep that length and keep moving forward, but the movement is from the pelvis, right? So it's not from the back. It's not a rounding forward. It's the pelvis tipping forward so that your chest can come forward down towards your feet. And we're not going to round here. If you do come forward, bring your elbows in front of your shins and gently press your elbows back into your shins to guide your chest forward. So your back body should feel nice and long here. And then bring your head so that you're looking down at your feet and the back of the neck is nice and long here. And breathe. Those slow, deep breaths that are guiding this practice. Feel the breath moving through the back of the throat. Listen to it. Another breath. And then slowly release. Come all the way back up. Now we're going to swing the legs around here, back behind, and come into a tabletop. So hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. Tuck the toes under here, so you get a little stretch in your feet. And then inhale, dip the belly down and lift the bum and lift the chest. And then as you exhale, round, push away, coming into your cat. Hug the navel up into the body. Feel the backs of your shoulder blades lift up towards the ceiling, chin to the chest. And then again, inhale, dip the belly down, lift the bum, lift the chest, shoulders back. And then exhale, round. And one more time, inhale, dip the belly. And exhale, round. Now come back into a neutral spine here. Walk your hands forward and we'll come to puppy pose. So hands walk forward. You can widen them a little bit if this starts to feel really tight. Your chest is dropping down and your bum is staying up. Okay, so don't bring your bum back towards your heels. Your tailbone is going to start to move up towards the ceiling as your chest drops down. And you might find that your forehead comes down and that's enough of a stretch for you. You might find that your chin comes down and that's a little bit deeper, a little bit more appropriate. You might find that your chest starts to drop down even further, maybe even touching. And then point your toes and sit your bum all the way back towards your heels. Feel free to widen your knees there. As much as possible, soften your elbows as you sit back. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Notice how the breath changes depending on the shape of the body. And see if you can keep some of that consistency in your breath. Start to inch your fingertips away. Plant your hands a little bit further away from you now. Inhale, start to come up, lifting your hips, tucking your toes, and let's exhale, press into downward facing dog. So we'll take a wide down dog for this first one, bringing your hands a little bit wider, bringing your feet a little bit wider, and then pedal out through your legs. Take the weight back. So notice if your shoulders start to creep forward over your wrists, and then bend your knees a little bit and take the shoulders back way behind the wrists. And then pedal. Lifting the sitting bones up towards the ceiling. If you're comfortable dropping into stillness here, you're welcome to drop into stillness. Maybe the knees soften a little bit, maybe the legs are straight, or maybe you continue to pedal. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. And take just one more breath. And then slowly start to walk your feet forward to your hands. We'll come to Uttanasana at the front of the mat. So feet about hips distance apart. Go on the wider side if you're feeling stiff in the backs of the legs and the back body today. Drop the crown of the head down. Grab onto opposite elbows. Take a little sway side to side. And then come to center. Relax your arms. Inhale, rise up halfway into a flat back, so sliding your hands up your legs or coming to your fingers. Ardha Uttanasana, gently pulling the shoulders back and the chest forward. And then exhale, fold again, drop the crown of the head down. And do that again. Inhale, rising up just halfway into a flat back. And then exhale, folding. And one more time, inhale, Ardha. And exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Soften the knees. Inhale, rise all the way up. Take your arms to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana, reach your arms up. Grab onto opposite elbows once again. Rest your head back into your forearm. Breathe. Root down through the legs. Grip the mat with your toes. Hug your belly back. Notice your breath. And then release your arms down by your sides. Coming to your Tadasana, turning your palms to face forward. Take an inhale here, reach your arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. And as you exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, come all the way down. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen into a flat back. And then as you exhale, soften your knees so that you can bring your hands down and then step your right foot to the back of the mat. Let's go nice and far with that right foot. Bring your right knee down to the mat here. And then let your hips drop forward a little bit. Not so far that you're going as far as you could possibly drop into this. Just drop your hips forward a little bit so you start to get a little bit of sensation in the front of your right thigh and hip. But really press actively down into that left foot so that you're not dropping all the way down. Then press down to that left foot so much that you lift your torso up away from your thigh. And then let's take the arms up overhead. Turning the palms to face in towards each other, softening the shoulders down away from the ears. And that sensation, we're not gonna grab onto opposite elbows again, but do you remember that feeling of your shoulders moving back in space and that sensation in your upper arms? Can you move the arms back just a little bit so you can tap into a little bit of that sensation? Keep the low belly nice and strong and the low back nice and long. So again, if you start to dip too far, you're gonna start to dip into the low back. So we're gonna avoid that. Take another breath in here. And then bring your hands all the way back down. Lift your back knee up. Maybe step that right foot forward a tiny bit and step the right foot over to the right a little bit. Then press down into your left foot and we'll rise up for our high lunge. First high lunge, you might be getting a lot of sensation into the front of the right hip and thigh, so feel free to soften that back knee a little bit. Again, we're gonna go for strength in the low belly, length in the low back, okay? So we don't wanna have an arch situation happening here in the low back. So low belly drawing in, low back nice and long, tailbone going down, and reaching the arms up. And again, taking them back just that little bit extra to tap into that sensation in the shoulders, active through the fingers, back of the neck nice and long here. Another breath. Now take the right heel down and we'll come to warrior one. So not a lot changes there other than that right heel going in and down, which is going to change the sensation, but not so much about the physicality of the asana, of the posture. Maybe we sink a little bit deeper into the left knee, see how that feels. Right leg is nice and strong, so press down into the bottom of the right foot. Now let's interlace the hands behind the back for this one. If you can bring your palms to touch, bring your palms to touch. If not, that's okay too. But take your shoulders, before you really assess whether you can bring your palms together, take your shoulders back behind you. So your upper arms move back behind you and your shoulder blades draw together. And you start to squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back there. Then let's dive down to the inside of the left leg and drop the crown of the head down, still really pushing down through the feet, letting the hands move away from the bum as far as they will. They might stay pretty close to the back body, but if you can lift them up, lift them up. And breathe deeply. And then start to press down through the legs again as you rise all the way back up into your warrior one. Release your hands, take your arms to the sky. Now let's take this into warrior two. So that right foot is gonna hop over behind the left foot. So you've got heel to arch alignment, so check that out. Left heel to the right arch, and we're gonna open out the arms wide, turning the palms to face down. Nice deep bend in the left knee. Press straight and strong through the right leg. And then inhale, straighten the left leg, reach the arms to the sky, and exhale, bend and open back into your warrior two. And again, inhale, straighten and reach up. Exhale, bend and open. And one more time, inhale and exhale. Now reverse your warrior. Take your right hand on the back of the right leg. Reach your left arm up and over your left ear. And same again, in that we don't want the left arm coming in front of us, right? The left arm is coming over the left ear. Keep it nice and straight. Bend into your left knee. Now, straighten your left leg. Keep reaching back with your left arm. So you've got this long stretch along the left side of the body. Keep all of that length as you start to reach your left arm up and then forward, and then we'll come to Trikonasana, triangle pose. So left hand can come down anywhere on that left leg. But we want to keep the length along the left side of the body rather than crunching down into the left side body. And then take your right arm and you can reach it up to the sky, or maybe you take the right arm over your right ear. But again, we're not bringing the right shoulder forward. It's staying over the right ear. So we have to take the back of the right shoulder back in space. Breathe. Press down through the legs. Another breath. Now let's come all the way back up and we'll come back into our warrior two. Bending into the left knee, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, bring your hands all the way down to your mat. Pivot to the ball of the back foot and step back into downward facing dog. So this time in our down dog, feet about hips distance apart, hands shoulder distance apart. So not so wide this time. Spread the fingers, push the front of your mat forward. Again, we want the shoulders back behind the wrists as far as possible rather than coming forward over the wrists. Feel free to soften the knees, feel free to pedal, feel free to drop into stillness. Ears in line with the upper arms. And then let's inhale here, come forward into plank. You decide whether or not you're going to keep your knees up or place them down for your chaturanga. Lower all the way down in a straight line, coming all the way to the belly. Bring your hands wider than your mat, in line with your shoulders. Fingers facing forward, elbows up. Separate your feet and press the tops of your feet down into your mat. Roll the shoulders back, inhale, rise up into this wide-armed cobra, coming up only as far as feels good. So you can be quite low here, or you can come up higher. Press down through the hip points and then exhale, lower. Keep the chest nice and broad so we don't ever round and bring the shoulders forward. Inhale, rise up again. And exhale, lower. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. Two more like this. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower. And last time, inhale. And exhale. Come all the way down. Now slide your hands back onto your mat, nice and close, so your thumbs are brushing the sides of your rib cage. Tuck your toes under. Let's start to lift up and push the hips all the way up and back into our downward facing dog. Just one breath here. And then walk the feet forward to the hands, coming back to your Uttanasana at the front of your mat. Inhale here. Rise up halfway, lengthen into a flat back. And exhale, fold. And again, inhale, rise halfway. And exhale, fold. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, rise up all the way, take your arms to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Grab onto opposite elbows, rest the head back into the forearm. Root down through your feet, grip the mat, engage your legs. And then relax your arms down by your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale as you rise up halfway to lengthen. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down and step your left foot to the back of the mat. Go nice and far, and then take your left knee down. And again, we drop the hips forward here, but not all the way. Really push down into the right foot, and then rise up away from the right thigh and take your arms up to the sky. Again, the shoulders are going to draw back, so you kind of tap into some of that sensation, some of that stretch into the tops of the shoulders. We're really pressing down through the right foot. Remember how we're strengthening into the belly and we're lengthening into the low back. So really hugging the navel back and dropping the tailbone down. Another breath in. And then bring your hands down to the mat. Lift that back knee up. Step the left foot forward a little bit and then to the left. Nice deep bend in the right knee. Push down through the feet and rise up into your crescent lunge. Now remember, we might want to bend a little bit into this left knee, so that's cool. Let that happen. Otherwise, you can start to straighten the leg. It just depends on how you're feeling in the left quad and hip flexor. Again, we're strong through the belly, long through the low back. Arms to the sky, shoulders back. Listen to the breath. Observe. Now we're going to take that left heel down. So we wind up in our warrior one. And again, not a lot changes there, right? As far as how this looks, the aesthetic, but the feeling, different. Shoulders back. Now interlace your hands back behind you, opposite thumb on top this time. So this is the awkward thumb, the one you wouldn't naturally put on top if you were going to interlace your hands. Hug your shoulders back behind you, shoulder blades squeeze together. Stay bending into the right knee and then dive down to the inside of that right leg. Relax the head down and let the hands move away from the bum. Hug your hips in towards each other, so don't let the hips pop out to the right. And then press down through your legs, rise all the way back up. Don't unbend that right knee. Come back into your warrior one. And then open out for your warrior two. So your left foot is gonna hop behind the right. Bend into your right knee and reach your arms out wide. So left leg nice and straight. Right leg still bent. Inhale, straighten and reach up. Exhale, bend and open. And again, inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Now take the left hand down the back of the left leg. Reach your right arm up and over that right ear. Remember, not in front. The right arm doesn't come in front of your face. It's over your right ear and back. Sink nice and deep into that right knee. Now straighten your right leg. Keep reaching with the right arm. Then keep reaching and reaching and reaching as you reach forward and come into your Trikonasana. Right hand comes down to the right leg. Left arm comes up to the sky, or if you want to take the left arm over the left ear, go for it. But again, shoulder is coming back, not in front of you. Lengthen, make sure you're not crunching into the right side of the body. And then start to bend into your right knee as you inhale, come back into your warrior two. And as you exhale, bring your hands down, pivot to the ball of the back foot, and step back, downward facing dog. Spread the fingers. Press the front of the mat forward, take the weight back to the legs, send the sitting bones and the backs of the thighs up to the sky. And then inhale here, come to your plank, modifying it as you wish. And exhale, lower all the way down. Once again, slide your hands wide, slide your feet to the outer edges of your mat, press down through the tops of the feet to the hips. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower. And again, inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower. And keep going, inhale. And exhale. Last two, inhale. And exhale. And last one. And all the way back down. Tuck your toes under. Slide your hands back nice and close to your ribs. And then let's lift up. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just one breath. And then walk your feet forward to your hands. Back into our Uttanasana. And fold. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold again. And inhale, rise all the way. Take your arms to the sky. And exhale, arms down by your sides. Let's bring the feet together here so that the big toes are touching. And close your eyes. And bring your hands to your heart, push your palms together. With your thumbs right in front of your sternum, pressing up into your sternum, and then lift your sternum up into your thumbs. Spend this moment here with your breath. Fully connected, fully grounded, surrounded and full of this energy that you have cultivated through this practice, through your movement, through your focus, through your breath. And open your eyes. Find your drishti, where you're going to rest your gaze. And keep your eyes softly focused on that spot as you root the weight into your left foot and come into your tree pose. So your right foot will come to the inside of your left leg, wherever you want it to go. So it can go low or high. You can even keep the right toes touching down if you're feeling a bit wobbly today or a little bit unstable on your ankle. Push your right foot into your left leg. Push your left leg back into your right foot. Take your arms up overhead and then grab onto opposite elbows. Rest the head gently back into the arms. Breathe. And then slowly release your arms and release your right leg. Put it down right next to your left foot and keep your gaze fixed if you can. And then let's go right to the other side. So we'll take the left foot into tree, wherever you want it to be. Hands to the heart, push the palms together, thumbs into the sternum. Foot pressing into thigh or leg, leg pressing right back into the foot. Strong through the belly. Eyes are softly fixed. And then arms overhead. Grab opposite elbows. And rest the head back ever so gently. Another breath. And then carefully release your arms down. And then release your left leg. And this time, give your legs a shake. Give your shoulders a big roll back. And again, nice big roll back of the shoulders. And then let's take a deep breath in, reach the arms to the sky. And as you exhale, fold, come all the way down, Uttanasana. Now bring your feet as wide as your mat there. Feet parallel for now. And drop the crown of the head down. And then inhale, rise up halfway, so lengthen, find a flat back. And then as you exhale, fold. Drop down, press down through the fronts of your feet. And relax the head. You can grab onto opposite elbows, or you can let your arms dangle. Let your head be free. Maybe give it a little shake out, yes, no, so you know you're not carrying any tension in your head right now. Lift your tailbone up. Sink the crown of the head down a little lower. And then turn your toes out, turn your heels in. Now you can keep your feet as wide as they are now, but if you've been to Malasana many times before and you find Malasana pretty accessible for your body and you have no issues coming into your Malasana, maybe see how it feels to bring your feet a little bit closer than you normally do. Still toes turning out, heels turning in, but maybe the heels are less wide. If you can drop your heels down, let them go down. If they won't go down, it's okay if they're still up. But if they are still up, I would take your feet wider. Elbows are in the inner knees. Press your palms together in front of your heart. Lift your chest. Close your eyes. Another breath. And then relax your arms and sit down. You can use your hands back behind you or no hands. And then let's lie down. Come onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest and give them a hug in. And then let's come to happy baby. So knees are bent. You can hold on to your ankles. You can have behind the thighs. You can grab for the outer edges of the feet. Rock side to side a little bit there. Sending your low back down to the mat. And then let your body tip over to the left, all the way over to the left. And as you tip over to the left, extend your left leg out as straight as it can go, so whatever is accessible for you. And then bring your right heel in towards your groin. So weight's over to the left leg is straightening out as much as is accessible, which might not be super straight, that's fine. And then come back to center. So roll yourself back to center and then let yourself tip over to the right. And your right leg will extend out straight and your left heel comes into the groin. And then let's go side to side like that a few times. So back over to the left, straightening the left leg. And then back to the right. And one more time to both sides, over to the left. And over to the right. And then back to your happy baby there for a moment. Pulling those knees and thighs down along the sides of the body. Keep the back of the head down. Press your very, very bottom of your back down into the mat. And then release your feet or your legs wherever you're holding on and take your arms out into a T shape. Or if it's more comfortable, if you want to bring your arms up overhead with soft elbows, you can do that as well. I quite like that. And then bend your knees and bring your knees over to the left to twist. Take the back of the right shoulder back onto the mat. So you need to bring weight back into the right shoulder to get that right shoulder to drop back. So see how you can adjust your shoulders, play around a little bit there to bring the back of the right shoulder back. And you might find that if you did take your arms overhead, it's more comfortable if you take your arms out wide. And we're creating this length along the right side of the body here. So if you close your eyes and visualize the back of your right shoulder and your right hip moving in opposite directions. So the back of your right shoulder going back into the mat and the right hip moving down towards your feet. back to center. Bring your knees back to center and take them over to the right. And then we want the back of the left shoulder on the mat. So adjust yourself, adjust your shoulders, adjust your legs to get the back of the left shoulder back. And again, observing that length now along the left side of the body. And the back of the left shoulder and the left hip moving in opposite directions. And then visualizing the breath. Visualizing the breath moving through your body. Every breath in filling you up. Filling you up with positive energy and light. Forgiveness, peace, power. And every breath out is this creation of space for the next breath in. Now come back to center. And let's come to Supta Konasana. So soles of the feet come together as the knees go out wide. You can keep your arms as they are, or you can change the position of your arms, maybe bringing the hands to rest on your body or by your sides or somewhere else. Rest your head, rest your shoulders, rest your arms, rest your hands. Rest your back body, soften your belly. Relax your face. And bring yourself fully into this moment. You are surrounded, you are enveloped by this energy, this positive light. Feel its warmth. Feel this warm glow. The warmth spreading from the crown of your head, down your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your torso, your hips, your thighs, all the way down to your feet. And if you would feel more comfortable extending your legs for your Shavasana, please feel free to do that at any time. If you're comfortable where you are, you can stay right there. And be warm. Be held. Be free. So start to let your breath deepen. Take it slowly. If your legs are still bent, extend your legs long and take a long stretch. Reaching your arms overhead and pointing your toes and creating as much length and space there as possible for your whole body. And then relax and bend your knees. And roll over onto your side. And take your time as you come back to your seat. No rush. When you come up, bring your hands to your heart and bow your head. So much gratitude. Namaste.